Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Your chance to vote in the Texas primary happens today. We have when polls will be opening. And Bill and Hillary Clinton's closed-door depositions about Jeffrey Epstein go public. Hours of testimony now released by Congress. And Victoria County joins other Crossroads counties with a new burn ban. Refugio County adding costly penalties for violators.
And for the rest of this week, you could probably guess we're still warm out there, but also breezy for the rest of this week before rain chances. Let's talk about that. That's going to be here this weekend. All that in the weather coming up.
And Industrial boys basketball gets set for the regional semifinal showdown versus Aransas Pass. We'll hear from senior star Keziah Lopez later on.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Election Day Tuesday.
Election Day Tuesday, big day today, that's for sure.
That's right, and we're going to have a couple of election days coming up too. And I know I went out and I voted. I have my sticker, my kitchen.
Good job.
So yeah.
Doing the work that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, gotta do it because of all the sacrifices that people made before us.
That's right, all that before us. Well, something that you might have had to do a sacrifice for earlier this morning is get up early, waking up early to see this on your screen. What you're looking at is a blood moon that happened overnight this morning. Really, it was earlier this morning when it happened. From about 5 to 6 a.m., the moon that you can see right there, it turned nice and orange and red thanks to what's called scattering, light scattering in the atmosphere, because the Earth is perfectly in the middle of the sun and the moon, so that the light from the sun is going on the edge of the Earth and turning it red. As you can see, this was at 5:42 in the morning. I took this picture right outside the station at 5:42, looking west. Look how pretty and red and kind of spooky that looked as well. But right now, the blood moon phase is officially over. So if you saw that, send us your pictures. We love your pictures. As you can see, looking west, we're pretty cloudy out there. So I hope you saw it. You've been lucky if you saw it because we're so cloudy. We're also quite warm, 69 degrees, and that's pretty close to our dew point, bringing us high humidity, but no fog out there because we have a little bit of a breeze, which we'll be picking up later. So those kiddos heading out the door, they're going to need to hold on to their hats and drink some extra water because, yeah, we're still warm all day. Those details next.
A Victoria man died Friday afternoon after a crash in Refugio. Officials say 33-year-old Nicholas Rodas was driving on US 77 when he failed to control his speed, crashing into the rear of a semi-trailer. Traffic on the highway was reduced because of another crash when Rodas hit the semi-trailer. Troopers from the Refugio Highway Patrol Office are investigating. Today is primary election day. The polls will be open in Victoria from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. There will be 34 voting locations open on those hours today. As voters head to the polls for the first primaries of the 2026 midterm season, the fight for control of Congress is already heating up. Here's ABC's political director, Avery Harper, with the high-stakes races.
As voters begin to cast ballots in midterm elections, President Trump is selling his vision of a booming economy.
This is the golden age of America.
But his bold declaration comes as he faces the lowest approval numbers of his second term. Our latest ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll finds 60% of Americans disapprove of the job he's doing.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it.
Midterm elections aren't just a measure of the president's popularity. They determine whether his agenda advances or stalls. And historically, these elections are unforgiving to the party in power. Republicans are fighting to defend narrow majorities in both the House and the Senate, control that allows them to drive the president's priorities forward. Democrats see an opening, pointing to economic frustration.
Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no.
A Democratic House could launch investigations and block key legislation, putting the president on the defensive. From Texas to North Carolina to Arkansas, primary voters are signaling how energized each party's base may be, a critical test in a year where control of Congress could hinge on turnout. President Trump is framing these elections as a fight to keep Republican majorities, saying that Democratic control could mean obstruction and a halt to his priorities. What voters do now could determine whether he faces a friendly Congress or an adversarial one in the second half of his presidency. Avery Harper, ABC News, New York.
Victoria County is the latest in the crossroads to enter a burn ban after Monday's Commissioner's Court. Refugio County recently passed a revision to its burn ban orders. Residents who burn during a burn ban will face fees beyond the maximum $500 fine for a Class C misdemeanor. Violators must now pay the cost for local fire departments that respond to an out-of-control fire from an unauthorized burning. County Judge Gigi Pointer says revisions should support local departments and mitigate costs when they respond to fires born from illegal burns.
Frankly, when we're looking to enforce, we want to be able to recover from these parties that are violating the orders. And I think in doing that, we're better protecting our volunteer firefighters and their agencies to continue doing the work that we need them to do.
Judge Pointer says the revisions use much of the same language used in Bee and DeWitt counties. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee has released video of Bill and Hillary Clinton's separate closed-door depositions on the Epstein case. ABC's Sophie Flay has more on the historic testimony.
This morning, video of Bill and Hillary Clinton's closed-door depositions over their alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein are now public as the House Oversight Committee releases hours of testimony. The former president denied ever seeing Epstein act inappropriately or engaging in sexual acts, telling the committee that his brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light. However, Clinton said he found Epstein to be odd.
I felt friendly toward him, but he was, as I said in my book, odd.
He said he first recalled meeting Epstein when he accepted Epstein's offer to use his private plane for humanitarian travel tied to the Clinton Foundation's work. Lawmakers pressed Clinton about these photographs released by the Justice Department during one of his trips with Epstein, showing Clinton in a pool with Maxwell and another woman. Clinton said he did not know who the woman was.
Did you engage in any sexual activities with this person?
During her deposition, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was asked about speculation that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to foreign intelligence agencies.
I do think that is a fruitful area for the committee to investigate.
Clinton insisted she never met Epstein and considered Maxwell an acquaintance.
You have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
For more local news, weather, and sports, come to crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Construction begins on a new career center for a Crossroads High School, giving students more space to learn welding, the culinary arts, and other hands-on skills.
Iranian drones have hit and damaged a U.S. embassy here in the Middle East. I'm Marcus Moore in Doha. I'll have the details and the response coming up.
And also coming up next after the break and the short-term forecast, you already know it's going to be warm today. So coming up next, we'll take a look at how warm it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. We are only the third day of March, and we are still looking for more warm, early spring weather. Fun fact, actually, the meteorological spring began on March 1st, so technically, meteorologically, we are already starting out spring, and we're going to be looking warm spring-like for the next several days, actually all the way into next week, mainly because of our high-pressure system right here on top of us, right here over the border of Mexico and Texas. You can actually see the edge of that system with the clouds moving right over that ridge. But if we go into next week and this weekend, all of that changes because we have not one, but two separate low pressure systems out in the Pacific. And oh man, they're going to bring us some rain. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But before the rain gets here, you already know it's going to be warm out there. Welcome to South Texas. With a little bit of cloud cover in the morning, partly cloudy, we'll burn down to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the day. Here's noontime and 3 p.m. Still mostly sunny. And underneath that beaming sun, we're going to warm up quickly, mainly because our winds are still out of the south-southeast today. And they're also going to be a bit breezy with gusts up to 25 to 30 miles an hour at times. So make sure to hold on to your hats. And that breezy wind will actually bring us some high to very high fire danger and our western counties where they're going to be a little bit more dry. But with the south wind combined with that sunshine, we're going to warm up quickly. By 9 a.m., low 70s, noontime already low 80s, and this afternoon we'll all heat to the mid and upper 80s around the area. But get used to that because it's going to be just like that for the rest of the week before the rain gets here. And we'll talk about that next.
The Industrial Cobras last week had an emotional win over top-ranked San Antonio Coal in the area around, beating the Cougars 56-51. Well, now they turn their attention tonight against the Aransas Pass Panthers at Goliad High School. The game will start at 8 p.m. And yesterday at practice, we caught up with Industrial senior guard Keziah Lopez about how he feels about how this team is looking in for tonight's matchup versus the Panthers.
I mean, it's a great run, and just knowing that we put in all the work, just everyone contributes to in the game, so just thanking the men above for giving us the opportunity to keep on going. So that's what. There's really no pressure. Just play our game because we know what we're capable of doing, and so we're just gonna come out and just be solid and just play our game and just hopefully come out with the win.
Again, this team beats a very top talented team as well in San Antonio Coal. And again, I think this team can make a run. And if they can beat Aransas Pass, they'll either face the winner of Santa Gertrudis Academy or Poth in the regional finals later on in this week. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Iran is ramping up airstrikes around the region in response to U.S. and Israeli attacks. ABC's Marcus Moore has the latest from Doha as all Americans are being urged to leave the Middle East.
Overnight, President Trump vowing to retaliate after the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was hit by Iranian drones. A fire was also reported at the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait. It was in that country where the Pentagon says 6 American service members were killed during an Iranian attack on a tactical operations center. U.S. officials vowing to ramp up attacks. Chaotic scenes playing out across the Middle East. At least 11 countries are now involved in this expanding conflict. The State Department is now urging all Americans to leave the Middle East, quote, due to serious safety risks. But each of the region's airspace is on lockdown. Flight trackers show just how many flights are avoiding the area.
You're fine?
Video circulating online shows a U.S. pilot shot down over Kuwait being approached by locals.
Thank you for helping us.
3 U.S. fighter jets were shot down by friendly fire. All crew members survived after ejecting. The U.S. has now carried out nearly 2,000 strikes in Iran across at least 50 locations. Fighter jets destroyed. Multiple Iranian Navy ships sunk. Iran's Revolutionary Guard headquarters leveled. Overnight, Central Command releasing new video showing U.S. strikes on Iranian ballistic missile launchers. But analysts say Iran still has thousands of missiles in its arsenal. The president not ruling out ground troops in Iran, adding the U.S. is prepared for a prolonged conflict.
Whatever the time is, it's okay, whatever it takes. Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
Another big concern right now is the price of oil. We have seen refineries attacked across the region, and now Iran is vowing to attack any ship that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Keep in mind, 20% of the world's oil supply passes through that channel. A prolonged disruption could have a major impact on prices. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Doha.
Officials say the result of this global conflict may have some implications here domestically. State Representative A.J. Louderback called the strikes on Iran as a preemptive operation to stop a present danger from Iranian nuclear weapons. He says the danger extends even to Texas, calling the deadly Austin shooting an attack from an extremist. State Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller reported Monday that he even received death threats after denouncing the attack. Representative Louderback says residents should stay aware of any potential threats.
This radical extremism is everywhere. I think we've got to prepare for that. I think each family needs to make preparations for that. Need to understand what we're up against. That the threats and the risk is real, and we've got to kind of get ready.
Louderback says the military action is an attempt by the president to return stability to Iran and the Middle East. After years of planning and behind-the-scenes work, shovels finally hit the dirt for a brand new career and technology center at Goliad High School. Superintendent Holly Lyon says interest in hands-on programs like welding and the culinary arts has surged, and the new center is designed to keep up. District leaders say it will give students more space, more tools, and more real-world training, helping turn classroom lessons into career pathways.
So we're very excited. It's been a long process, a lot of time spent in the design to make sure that we're creating a building that will serve our community for years to come.
The new Goliad High School Career and Technology Education Center building is part of the $75 million bond issue approved by voters in 2023. In addition to the new CTE building, the bond package includes a new middle school for the district. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Stylist Law Roach says Zendaya and Tom Holland have tied the knot. Roach told Access Hollywood at this weekend's Actor Awards, the wedding has already happened. You missed it. The Spider-Man co-stars got engaged last year.
You befriend him so you could gain his trust and then get the girl.
HBO's new Sunday night dramedy is called DTF St. Louis and follows a love triangle that turns deadly. Star David Harbour spoke with ABC Audio about what it was like working with Jason Bateman and Linda Cardellini.
I mean, these are two actors that I've admired for years and years, and I got to do some of the best scenes of my whole career, some of the most intimate work I think I've ever done with these people.
We got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with a giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
And good news for fans of going fast. The next installment in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has started filming, according to a post from director Jeff Fowler. And happy birthday, Jessica Biel. The Seventh Heaven actress is 44. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The time now, let's get a look at our clock over here. It is just about 6:48 on our Tuesday morning, still to come on Sunrise. Generations of families gather at the Victoria Livestock Show, where agricultural traditions continue to shape young lives. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Norma. Wishing Norma a very, very happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. It's your day to shine. We love you from all your friends and family, and she's our birthday cake winner.
That's right, she is. Congratulations, Norma. And happy birthday, and also happy 8th birthday to Lively from Mom, Dad, Papa, and Boppy. Look at that sweet picture.
So sweet.
So sweet.
And happy birthday to Carol. We love you from your best friend and your work family at Midcoast Family Services.
Ooh, happy birthday, Carol. And also happy birthday to Hector. I would like to wish my son a happy 29th birthday, and that's from Mom and Dad. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
And I want to wish Meredith a very happy birthday, and it's now, let's see, 6:49 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday, y'all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. All right, it's time to talk about what everyone is impatiently waiting for. It's rain. I'm sure you already knew that because we've been so very dry for the last several months, not weeks, months, y'all. Our northwestern counties, including Gonzales, Lavaca, and DeWitt, they've been under an extreme drought since November. So there is some decent chance for rain coming this weekend, and we are really holding out hope for that. 50% for both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is going to be your daylight saving day, which you're going to have to fast forward your clock ahead an hour. You'll lose an hour of sleep. And then Monday, we'll drop that chance to 40%. But that's okay, because on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, those chances are right back up, probably up to like 70%. You want to know why? Well, earlier we had talked about two separate low pressure systems out in the Pacific, way out here in the Pacific, whereas high pressure right here is what's responsible for our warm and pretty stable atmosphere the next few days, but that's going to change. With the first low system, it's this one right here, that's going to come off of the Rocky Mountains but move south. It's going to take a nosedive south, and all that's going to do is send a whole bunch of moisture out of the Pacific into our region, bringing us our rain chances. But here's the catch. Low number 2 right there is going to come out of the Pacific next. And going into late next week, that's going to start shifting east and drag the rest of the first low eastward. bringing us our rain chances next week. Here's Saturday, and then Sunday you can see some decent chance there, but here we go. Tuesday and Wednesday, boom, that's our next shot. And we'll talk about all that and more later on Sunrise.
The 80th year of the Victoria Livestock Show officially ended with the annual auction. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting shares how the student sellers and the buyers are keeping a long-standing tradition going.
The Livestock Show runs deep in Victoria's history, several family trees sprouting from agricultural roots.
My dad showed here, my mom showed here. Obviously, I showed here, my brothers and sisters. And like I said, my kids are showing here now. And for me, it helped me pay for college tuition, build my future.
The auction represents the next generation of Texas agriculture getting its start.
We've been in this for 10 plus years, ever since we were 3rd grade. And growing up, we've always wanted to do something in agriculture. And hopefully, whenever we graduate, we will want to go. I would like to go into agriculture or something.
Many of the buyers understand their role and the importance of supporting the youth.
I showed here for a long time, and the show is very important. It's very important to the kids, but you got to support them. And so if I got $1, I'm going to spend $2 because you got to help out the kids.
As the Victoria Livestock Show's history continues, so too will its significance through generations of families.
It just connects us to what is the future of it. And so we need that to be able to have future stability. And this is a great program to help us increase and allow for people to get involved in it.
Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Refugio County receives nearly $1 million from the state for coastal conservation. Refugio County is getting support from the General Land Office in the form of a grant worth nearly $1 million. Commissioner Don Buckingham approved $84.6 million to 14 counties as part of the Coastal Conservation Project through the Coastal Erosion Planning and Response Act. Refugio County plans on using the funds toward its Bayside Shoreline Restoration Project.
It's going to allow us to curb some of the erosion, get native plantings in, oyster reef balls, and a new breakwater that will allow us to work with nature rather than against it in that recreational area.
Calhoun County and Port Lavaca join Refugio County in receiving the grant funds from the Land Office. And now let's get another look at our forecast with Parker, who says that rain is around the corner.
It's coming soon, y'all. Y'all get excited and maybe say a prayer because we really desperately need the rain. It'll be here this weekend, but before that gets here, you can see we're starting out with a little bit of a cloudy sunrise out there, but it is a little misleading. The sun's going to be beaming later today. Starting out the day nice and warm already, 70 degrees, and also plenty humid, but not enough to worry about fog because we have a slight breeze out there. So starting out the day, like I said, all of us about the same, upper 60s and low 70s, but with us starting out the day warm, we're going to end up even warmer. 81 for the high in Port Lavaca, upper 70s by noon, and mostly partly cloudy down on the coast, but also breezy, gust up to 30 at times. Warmer in the inland counties, also more sunshine. 85 in Victoria, low 80s by noon, and warmer in Cuero, 87 today. So I want y'all to get used to that because it's going to be just like that for the rest of this week before that rain gets here this weekend. And oh boy, we need it so bad. So bad. I'm saying a serious prayer for that rain.
All right, and I hope that y'all make it out to the polls today. Election day is today. Thank you for being with us this morning. Be sure to join Shonadon, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great day.